beautiful souls. Welcome, Lisa here. And today's shame story that I'm going to be sharing is about my appearance, how I look. Whenever I was a kid, there was like all of these blonde jokes. And maybe I'm blonde now, maybe I'm not. I don't really know. My hair's gotten a little darker over the years, but whenever I was a kid, I was like super blonde, and like there was this tie to being dumb, and just because of the color of my hair. Granted, as a child, you do some dumb things too. You're a little ditzy, a little naive. I can admit that, but like it was deeper than that. And now, even still today, I don't really, like, the blonde jokes don't bother me. The short jokes don't bother me anymore. That was another one. I've always been the shortest, I've been too skinny. I've been too fat. I've had zits everywhere, And right now, what is alive for me is, like, I really have this like resistance to changing my appearance, because I feel like there's just too much. Like there's all this skincare, there's all this makeup, this stuff for your hair, like plucking this, and it's like all of this stuff. That's another thing, my eyebrows. Like there's all these little things, right, that make me feel like I'm less than, because I don't put on makeup, because I don't pluck my eyebrows, I don't like to shave my legs. I rarely cut my hair. I don't like to brush my hair unless it's wet. When I brush my hair and it's not wet, it just makes it frizz out and look crazy, and I don't like it like that. But then there's all this, like, you have to brush your hair every day, blah, like, and it's just so much. It's so much. And that's what, like, I feel like I'm revolting against all of it. And, like, just fucking take me as I am, because this is how I am, And at the same time, like, how you appear to others, how you present yourself to the world is important, especially if you're like on here talking about how to care for yourself, and it just like looks like, you just got out of bed and haven't showered in 3 weeks, and people may not think that you're taking care of yourself, even though that may be how you're actually taking care of yourself. And that's the thing about the appearance. Like, this is what I'm really working through and towards right now is, am I doing this to express myself, to make myself feel better, to care for myself? Or am I doing it to make other people's eyeballs more comfortable? Am I doing it so that they will perceive me, like, in a certain way? And because that's kind of manipulative-y if you're doing that. So now, whenever I'm getting dressed in the morning and whenever I'm looking at myself in the mirror, it's like, am I okay with what I see? And not about, like, how do I want to be perceived, but how do I feel comfortable in perceiving myself? And, like, then noticing the contradictions. Like, I don't want to put on makeup. And, every time I do, I get weird things pop up on my face. And I'm just like, it's like a sign from the universe. Like, hey, what are you doing? Now, sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll put on glitter and go out because I want to feel, like, sparkly or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with wearing makeup, unless every fiber of your being is screaming at you, I don't want this, and then you do it anyway to make other people happy, So that's really the key to this that I'm working through right now, is, am I doing this to care for myself, to take care of myself, for my own happiness, or am I doing it to make other people more comfortable with me, and it's been helpful. Although it's still like I don't know, because I don't spend as much time as I feel like is expected on getting ready, on how I'm going to present myself to the world. Like, I feel a little bit less than. Like, maybe there's something wrong with me. And that's where the shame comes in, right? And if you don't feel comfortable with the way that you look, you know, why? Why? You know, is it because you know you should be taking care of yourself better and you're just not? Because that one, it's not that you should be shamed for it, but that's a healthy guilt. You know, it's that pain point that does get you to take better care of yourself. You know, you look in the mirror and you notice, you know, you're getting a little pudgy and it's harder to walk or whatever it is. So, you know, you can make positive changes that make you feel better about yourself. But it's not like you look in the mirror and you're like, you know, what are they going to think? You know, that's where it's so deep, this one. And I feel like so many of us, I mean, we all notice every single little flaw we each have. But how often are you noticing other people's flaws? And even if you do notice them, like, you don't think less of them normally. You know, you just know that maybe they're going through something, or that that's just them. Like, I think of my mom. Like, she never wore makeup. She was a jeans and t-shirt gal. But she was like, she just radiated this love, fun, like, excitement. And that's what I remember about her. You know, not the wrinkles, not the lines, not the hair changing colors, or how her teeth were, or like, you notice the flaws, but at the same time, it's like, what makes that person special? You know, that they're not perfect. There is no perfection. And if somebody is presenting as perfect, they probably had, like, you know, some help. And that's okay if that's what makes them feel better, if that's what gets them that happiness. But it's like, you can get in trouble chasing that too, thinking that, oh, if I get this treatment, I'm going to feel better. You know, I did that with my hair. I got keratin treatment after my second kid was born, thinking that, you know, it was going to make me feel like, well, first of all, I thought it was going to fix my crazy hair, and it didn't do anything. It didn't change anything for me. It just was $200 that went away. And that's the thing, like, chasing these things. You think it's going to bring you happiness, but really it's about accepting wherever you're at right now. And then, like, learning how you feel taken care of. Being okay with that, even though it may make others uncomfortable, you know? And maybe all of that's in your head too. Like, I feel like most people probably don't care that I don't wear makeup. You know, and how many hours have I spent thinking about this when nobody even cares? So the bottom line here is, be okay with you, however that is. And of course, yes, sometimes we change. We're always growing, right? And that's okay too, to hold both of those. Like, I accept myself completely how I am right now, and I'm working towards whatever, you know? And that is my shame story for today. See you guys later. Bye.